is it, my dear? What's all the excitement?
We found the money, Father, just where you buried it.
You did? Whew, how wonderful! And here I was accusing old Kuppenhausen. That's great news! The 1,000 guilders.
And we thought it was connected with this watch.
Watch? Where? Oh, show it to me.
Well, this one, Father.
Yes, Ralph. Don't you remember? The day of your accident, just before you ran out to work on the dikes, remember? You brought this watch home, and you told me to take good care of it. And so I have all these 10 years.
Let me see it. Yes, I remember now. Yes. Ooh, that poor boy.
Poor boy? What poor boy? Ralph, for 10 years I've been wanting to know the secret of this watch, and now you will tell me.
I'll tell you, wife. Like as not, the poor fellow who gave it to me is now dead.
Was he sick, Father?
No, my son, but he was in trouble. Very troubled.
Had he done anything wrong?
He said he did.
What was it? Murder, Father?
He said it was like murder.
Ralph, tell us this instant. We're bursting with curiosity.
Well, it was near the dikes the same day as the accident, but earlier, about noontime. This young fellow came upon me suddenly. He was fresh and honest looking, as our own boy, but I could see he was greatly troubled. He stopped me and took hold of my arm. His face was white and wild looking. Now there was a little rowboat lying at the shore. He pointed to it and said to me, "Take me down the river away." That's what he said. "Take me down a river away."
Well, then what, Father?
I said, "Why don't you take yourself?" And he said, "That boat is not mine. I do not want to rob a poor fellow who might need it. You take me." That's what he said. "You take me and bring the rowboat back."
Then what?
I did as he asked. I took him down a river a few miles, maybe 6 or 8. Then he said he could make it the rest of the way on shore. I was in a hurry to get the boat back, but just before he jumped out, he began to cry, and he said, "I can trust you. I've done something. Oh, I never intended to. But the man is dead. I must flee from Holland."
What man, Father?
I don't know, Hans. That's what he said. The man is dead.
What happened then?
He dug into his pocket and drew out a pocket watch. The one I brought home. The one you've been keeping safely these 10 years.
Do you think he stole the watch, Father, from the man?
No, Hans. He looked well dressed enough. I am sure the watch was his. Then he handed it to me and he said, "I am fleeing from my country, my Holland, because I must. I will trust you, because you look honest. Take this to my father, not today, but in a week, and tell him his unhappy son sent it. Tell him if ever the time comes he wants me to come back to him, I'll come. Tell him to send me a letter to
whom, Father?
That's the trouble, Hans. I cannot remember the name. I can't remember where the letter was to go. Oh, poor lad. Oh, poor lad. And the watch. It has never been sent to his father to this day.
What was the father's name, dear? Were you supposed to find him?
Alas, it slipped my mind. I can see the lad's face, just as plain as day, but all the rest whirls past me. There's a kind of rushing water in my brain that comes over me when I try to think.
It is still your illness, dear. You're still tired. It will come to you sometime.
Oh, if only I could remember it.
Could it be Boomphoffen? Remember that family? I've heard they had 2 sons that turned out bad. Gerard and Lambert.
Well, it could be. Look and see if there are any letters on the watch. Maybe that will help us.
Let's see. Yes, there are letters on it. L, J, B. That has to be Lambert Boomphoffen, although I can't say what the J is for. But they were always grand kind of people, giving their children 2 names instead of 1, like simple folk.
Well, dear, maybe tomorrow you can bring the watch to them and find out. But for now, there's been enough excitement here for one day. Let's have our dinner, and we'll see what tomorrow brings.
Children, it's morning, time to get up. Come wash your faces, breakfast is almost ready. Visitors? Who could that be? Oh, Dr. Berkman, it's you. How good to see you. Come in, come in.
I was passing by and I wanted to see how our patient was doing. Well, Brinker, you do look fine today.
With all thanks to you, Dr. Berkman. I don't know how I shall ever repay you. Oh, yes, I do. A wonderful thing has happened. Only last night we found 1,000 guilders that had been lost to us these 10 years. Tell me what we owe you, Doctor.
Tut, Brinker, I promised your son Hans that I could not charge you, and I will keep my word. His thanks are enough.
I am most grateful, Doctor. Yes, a son is a wonderful thing.
Yes, it is. Your son Hans reminds me so of a son I once had.
Tell me, Doctor, do you know the Bumphoffen family? They had 2 sons, I heard. Do you know what happened to them?
Yes, a troublesome lot. They went long ago to America, the whole family.
Perhaps you know someone there and can get their watch to them.
What watch is that?
This one, Doctor, with the initials LJB on it.
What is that? A watch? With LJB on it? Let me see.
Here it is, Doctor.
Lawrence! My Lawrence, this is his watch.
Who is Lawrence?
My son, he disappeared 10 years ago, ran away.
But why?
He was my assistant. By accident, he poured out the wrong medicine for one of my patients. It was a deadly poison. But I discovered it in time, so the medicine was never given. But the man died the next day anyway, and Lawrence thought he had killed the man. He ran away. And you, Brinker, you saw him. Where did he go? Where did he say I could reach him?
It is gone from my mind, Doctor. He gave me a name and a place, but it is gone from my mind.
And I, like a fool, thought he had abandoned me. When all these years he has been waiting for a word from me, a word to come home. Think, Brinker, think. Where did he go? What was the name he gave you?
I cannot remember, Doctor. I'm trying.
Forgive me, Brinker. I have been thoughtless. Of course you can't remember now in your condition. But even so, I am a happier man today than I have been for these 10 years, knowing that my son is alive somewhere. And to think, your son Hans is the one who brought me to you, and through you brought me this news. This is a happy day, Brinker, a happy day. Good day, my friends.
How remarkable.
Oh, I hope I shall remember the name. It was a funny name, too. Not a Dutch name, but from some other country. I wish I could remember.
Father, there's something else I remember.
Oh? What is it?
Today is the big race, the race with the silver skates as a prize.
So it is, and Gretel is going to race in it. Well then, I must give you both a fine breakfast. Then out you go, and Hans, you remember everything that happens.
Aren't you going to come and watch?
No, I shall stay here with Father. We have missed him for these 10 years, and I don't want to spend another day out of his company.
So you come back later and tell us everything, Hans. Oh, everything.